This program is brought to you in part by CIE Tours International. For over 80 years featuring all-inclusive tours and go-as-you-please value vacations throughout Ireland and Britain. CIEtours.com.
Hello and welcome. I'm Patricia O'Reilly and I'm delighted you could join us for a special edition of Out of Ireland, coming up on this week's programme. We visit County Waterford with its numerous historic treasures. In County Wexford, the Dunbrody House Hotel with its famous chef Kevin Dundon. And in music, the powerful voice of Sligo native Tommy Fleming. But first, we visit County Wicklow, just a short drive from Dublin, which includes the 6th century monastic settlement at Glendalough and the spectacular gardens of Powerscourt. Just a short drive from Ireland's capital, Dublin, yet County Wicklow is a world apart, spared the worst ravages of urban expansionism. Strict planning regulations have played a major role, but so too has the county's natural imposing features. Its dramatic valleys, soaring mountains and numerous lakes make it difficult to develop large-scale housing or industrial estates. Here, history and geology have combined to preserve some of the country's most stunning landscapes and most important archaeological treasures.
A beautiful county, right on Dublin's doorstep, literally 10-15 minutes outside of Dublin, and you're into a completely other world of beautiful mountains and greenery, and has some wonderful sights as well, from Powerscourt Gardens to Avoca, a beautiful village where the waters meet. Then, of course, you have wonderful Glendalough, which tells the story of Christian Ireland. So it's a wonderful county. The beauty of it is that it's so close to an urban centre, and yet you're so far removed from the sense of Dublin. And it is a very, very popular spot for Dublinites to head out on a weekend to get away from the city.
County Wicklow's reputation as the Garden of Ireland is well deserved. Nowhere is this more apparent than at Powerscourt Gardens near Enniskerry. Considered one of the world's great gardens, it was originally begun by the Wingfield family in the 1740s. Today it covers over 47 acres of formal gardens, sweeping terraces, walled gardens and hundreds of ancient trees and shrubs.
People's reaction as they walk out from the main building here is a sense of awe. People are stunned when they walk out. The vista that we have and the view that we have here is unsurpassed. There's nothing here, anywhere that can match it. Once you get up into the gardens, it's a beautiful, quiet, serene area. Nature's all around you, the birds are around you. So you could spend a whole day here at Powerscourt. We have various styles of gardens to visit. One of the most beautiful style of garden that we have is the Japanese garden, which is down the bottom end of the gardens. The Japanese gardens date from 1911. The rhododendrons are one of the prominent features. We have lovely water features, beautiful streams, fountains, and small waterfalls that give a lovely ambience as you're walking through, a very nice relaxing feeling. And the colour and fauna that is there are one of the best around. An unusual feature that we have in the gardens here is the pet cemetery, which is one of the oldest and largest pet cemeteries in County Wicklow. The pet cemetery dates back to the middle 1700s, almost 300 years. Pets are here from the Wingfield family, which is the original family that built the estate. The wall garden that we have, our herbaceous border is what we call it mostly, is one of the oldest herbaceous border in Ireland. It's also the longest herbaceous border in Ireland. It stretches for about 60 metres, and a beautiful fountain in the middle of it, which was bought over in Italy. Just a few miles from Powerscourt Gardens, still within the estate itself, is the Powerscourt Waterfall. It's 121 metres high, which is the highest waterfall in Ireland, one of the highest in the British Isles. The Powerscourt Waterfall is actually the River Dargle, which runs through the estate here. So you could actually say that the waterfall is the source of the River Dargle, which runs from that waterfall through the gardens and out to Bray, about 3 miles from here.
Situated within the grounds of the Powerscourt estate is Ireland's first and only Ritz-Carlton hotel. Nestled in the foothills of the Wicklow Mountains, all its rooms offer breathtaking views of the surrounding landscape. The hotel offers all the facilities and activities of a 5-star resort and more, including a giant chess set on the front lawn.
The hotel opened on the 1st of October 2007, so we're just in our 3rd year of operation. It's located on a 10-acre site in the centre of the 1,000-acre Powerscourt estate. The hotel is Palladian style. It's the only Ritz-Carlton in Ireland. In fact, it's the only Ritz-Carlton in the British Isles. It has 200 bedrooms, and of that, 124 of the rooms are suites. So over 50% of our inventory are suites. The average room size is just under 700 square feet. We're extremely lucky here at the Ritz-Carlton Powerscourt because we have Gordon Ramsay's only restaurant in Ireland. The Gordon Ramsay restaurant is a destination in itself, and many people from all over Ireland and overseas travel to the hotel just to have the experience of dining at the restaurant.
Any visit to Wicklow must include the county's most important attraction, the 6th century monastic settlement at Glendalough, one of Europe's best preserved early Christian sites. Here, visitors are steeped in spiritual history, surrounded by buildings that have survived for almost 1,000 years, and walking in the footsteps of pilgrims that came here over the centuries seeking solitude.
Glendalough is a beautiful location. It's here in the middle of the Wicklow Mountains. It gets its name from the 2 lakes that are in this valley because it's Glendalough Loch. Glendalough was founded about 600 AD by St. Kevin, and he came here to this place of solitude to retreat from the world, really, and live the life of a hermit. But apparently he had a lot of followers and they came along after him, so he had to found a church and monastery. There are a huge number of churches surviving here within the valley, and what's extraordinary about them is that they haven't been touched much after being built. There are no later phases being added to these churches, so you're seeing them as they were built around 1100. Glendalough wasn't a sort of monastery like we picture one today with a cloister and all that. The church was in charge, all right, but there was a whole lay population here as well. So there would have been quite a sizable population around here, certainly running into hundreds, if not 1,000, and involved in farming and craftsmanship and writing books. There would have been a scriptorium connected with the establishment as well.
County Wicklow there. What a beautiful part of the country. And now we continue south to places of interest in County Waterford. We also stop by the Dunbrody House Hotel, home of one of Ireland's top chefs, Kevin Dundon. Waterford City, with 3 rivers running into its majestic harbour, was founded by Viking raiders in 914 AD. Believed to be the oldest urban settlement in Ireland, it's a fitting location for the award-winning Museum of Treasures at Merchants Quay. The museum houses a unique collection of rare and authentic artefacts, which tells the 1,000-year story of the city.
The museum was founded in 1999. We're covering the history of Ireland from basically from 914, when the city was founded, the arrival of the Vikings in Ireland, then the arrival of the Anglo-Normans in 1170, and then right through to the wars of religion in the 17th century and through the great revival of Ireland in the 18th century. I suppose Waterford really came to its height in the Middle Ages. That's the period when it was controlled by the Anglo-Norman kings of England, and it was a great port of Waterford. One of the most interesting documents we have that has survived from that period is the Great Charter Roll. These were charters given to the city by the English kings of how the city could be run and the rights and privileges the city had. It's amazing that it has survived, and the colours are still as fresh, I think, as the day it was first made nearly 700 years ago. The other great treasure of the museum are, of course, the great set of vestments that were discovered 200 years ago in 1773. But in actual fact, the vestments themselves date back to the 1460s and 1480s. They were the Roman Catholic vestments of the medieval Dean of Waterford. And they were survived because during the wars of religion, they were buried in chests in the cathedral, and only when they were demolishing the medieval cathedral in 1773 were they discovered. They're the only set of high mass vestments to survive in the whole of Northern Europe. They're extremely beautiful, made of cloth of gold and beautiful embroidered panels. So they're extremely rare, and their survival is really a miracle. I suppose one of the most fascinating pieces we have is the only piece of medieval clothing of an English king to survive, and that's the cap of maintenance of King Henry VIII of England. It's made of red velvet, and it's embroidered with Tudor roses and marguerites, which represent King Henry VIII's grandmother, Margaret de Beaufort. It is a unique object and extremely rare.
Just a short stroll from the Museum of Treasures is the new home of Waterford Crystal. With the closure of the main factory in 2009, the new centre allows the city's long tradition of crystal making to continue. An extensive range of Waterford products is available, and visitors can take a guided tour and watch the transformation of the molten crystal into the famous Waterford brand.
Waterford crystal has been producing crystal since 1783. We've been famous around the world for the quality of our crystal. It's taken many generations to develop this quality. That sparkle is due to the designer spent many hours studying the crystal to ensure that we put the correct facets and cuts on the glass so that when it captures the light, you get the famous sparkle that Waterford is known for. When you come to the House of Waterford Crystal, we'll take you on a journey of 225 years of crystal making, right through into our factory where we show our blowers blowing our famous pieces in bowls and vases and stemware, right into our cutting shops, sculpting, engraving areas, and bring in a journey in terms of how we produce these famous pieces of crystal.
Just 1 mile downriver from the city, on an estuary of the River Shore, is Waterford Castle, located on its own private island. Home of the powerful Fitzgerald family for centuries, it's now a luxury hotel, surrounded by 300 acres of parklands, forests, trails, and an 18-hole championship golf course.
The castle itself dates back to the 8th century, where it was a monastic settlement. It was then taken over by Maurice Fitzgerald, who was a cousin of Strongbow, around the 11th century, just at the time of the Norman invasion to Ireland. And in fact, the Fitzgerald family who were one of the most prominent families in Ireland, lived here up until the 1950s. The castle was home to the Fitzgerald family for 800 years. The last Fitzgerald to live here was a lady called Mary Fitzgerald. She sold the castle and the island in 1958. The castle was turned into a hotel in the late 1980s. During the redevelopment of the castle, one of the most important details for us was to make sure that the castle never lost its uniqueness and its sense of antiquity. So we've really left the structure of the castle untouched, and you'll see this as you walk through the building. We have 19 individually designed bedrooms that are all unique, of different shapes and sizes. The rooms themselves are overlooking the island and the river shore and are filled with antique furniture. The bathrooms with freestanding iron claw baths, power showers and individually crafted hand basins. For guests who prefer more independent or self-catering family holiday, we have the 48 Castle Garden lodges that are contemporary and modern in style. The castle is located on a 310-acre island, so it's like a huge playground for all our guests that come to stay. They can enjoy a game of golf on our 18-hole course. They can take a walk on many nature trails through the woodlands and parklands around the island itself, where they will spot our Sika deer. We have a herd of 60 deer who roam freely here around the island. There's beautiful flora and fauna. You really feel like you're getting away from it all to another world.
A visit to the southeast would not be complete without stopping by the Dunbrody House Hotel and Restaurant, a 20-minute drive from Waterford. Owned and run by one of Ireland's most famous chefs, Kevin Dundon, and his wife, Catherine. Needless to say, food is the big attraction here. Much of it produced from the various fruit, vegetable and herb gardens surrounding the house. Kevin recently opened his own cookery school, offering courses for both beginners and experienced chefs.
Dunbrody House was built in 1830 as a hunting lodge for the Chichester family. So that's the Chichester clerks from Northern Ireland, the first Prime Minister of Northern Ireland. And in 1906 they turned it into the principal residence. So since then they were living here for 7 generations till 1997 when Catherine herself bought the house and turned it into a hotel. But really what we have here is a beautiful hotel. It's a 4-star hotel, but I say it's a hotel, but it's really a home. And when I say that, we still offer the full service of a hotel. We've got 2 restaurants, we've got a spa. So we have 22 bedrooms in the hotel. We've got a 3-bedroom lodge, which is right on the grounds. So you really feel at home and relaxed, and that's really what Dunbrody's about. The most exciting part about Dunbrody is, of course, our restaurant. And our main restaurant is the Harvest Room. The food that we would actually cook in the restaurant here, the majority of it, like actually during the summer months, 90% we're self-sufficient. So they come from the grounds of Dunbrody. The hens would produce the eggs for the breakfast in the morning. There's cattle on the land. Right beside the hens, you've got the herb garden. I think there's something really special about herb gardens because you go out in the afternoon to pick your herbs for the garden that night, and you stand in the middle of this beautiful array of aromas of herbs. You go, wow, this is really what it's about. And then after that, you'll walk up to the kitchen garden, and you've got fruit up there. You've got strawberries, which Wexford's famous for, and you've got raspberries, you've got gooseberries, and then you go into the vegetables. You've got, courgettes, you've got cabbage, you've got onions, you've got tomatoes, and you've got cucumbers. 8 years ago, we opened our cookery school. It's all about the love of food. And there's no pressure, it's very relaxed, chilled out, a bit of fun, but really talking about our philosophy about how we cook in Dunbrody. And We do a number of different types of courses, like one-day courses, two-day courses, do a 5-day Master Chef course. But I think what's really good about our school, it's a very small group, maximum of 10 people. So it's very much one-on-one, so it doesn't really matter what level you're getting in on because you're actually going to learn loads. And I think the beauty of having the 1 or 2-day courses, a lot of us like to do something when we're going on holidays. What a perfect thing to do, tie in a bit of Irish cuisine on your vacation.
Some of the many attractions there of the southeast of the country. And now we finish off this week with the powerful voice of Sligo native Tommy Fleming, Raglan Road, included in his CDs The Collection and A Journey Home.
On Raglan Road of an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might one day rule. I saw the danger and I passed along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November, we tripped lightly along the lane of a deep ravine where can be seen the worth of passion's play. The Queen of Hearts still making tarts, and I'm not making hay. Oh, I loved too much, and by such is happiness thrown away. I gave a kiss of the mind, I gave her the secret signs that's known to the artists who have known the true gods of sound and stone. And words and things without
Tommy Fleming there with the classic song Raglan Road, included in his CDs The Collection and A Journey Home. Well, that's it for another week here on Out of Ireland. Don't forget to join us at the same time next week. But for now, from all of us here, I'm Patricia O'Reilly. Take care and we'll see you soon.
This program is brought to you in part by CIE Tours International. For over 80 years featuring all-inclusive tours and go-as-you-please value vacations throughout Ireland and Britain. CIEtours.com.